Hello and welcome back to Games Played Technically. I am your host, and today we're playing 7 Days to Die. For those of you unfamiliar with the game, it is a zombie survival shooter. All right, we are spawning into the world here. Here we are, born exactly on this spot to this cruel and unforgiving land. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do all of our challenges, the first 2 rows of challenges, because why not? Because this is how we always start. So here we are collecting grass. These over here give us wood. Let's go ahead and grab some of those so we get a little bit of wood. Nothing weird about getting a little bit of wood. All right, let's see what we can craft. We can craft a stone axe for sure because that is our bread and butter. I'm gonna put that in 3 because the stone axe goes in 3. We're going to get rid of this because we don't need that note. All right, let's go ahead and do a little harvesting. Here's a good tree, a juicy looking tree. We're gonna gather some of its wood. And as I understand, we also need to gather stone, but we need to harvest it using this axe. For some reason, we always take a nest. We are going to cheese the nest by leaving a feather in there. That way we get more feathers because feathers are hard to come by. That finishes another one. Let's go ahead and make our clothes. Under here, we should have plenty of fibers and wood for this. All right, we are wearing clothes now. Ah, yes, the venerable club. We will take one of those. So wooden club, primitive bow, arrows, as many as we can make right now, which is just 3. Is that really how many feathers we had? That's not great. All right, we're putting the club in 2, the bow in 1. And we are ready to go there. This unlocks the next row and also tells us where Trader Rex is. He's about a little over half a kilometer. Let's go ahead and make our way there first, and then we will take care of that, that second row, because it looks like we have to hoof it for a bit. Okay, it looks like we have our first zombie. We're going to fight him just because. We're going to be careful to not get hit. We're going to take the opportunity to clobber them while they're down. We're going to regain stamina. It has been a little while since I have been challenged by zombies that, or at least single zombies. And we got him. There's our XP. Another nest. I don't know if you have to leave specifically one. I definitely copied this from someone I saw doing it. I forget who it was. If I remember, I will say. But essentially, if you leave one feather in there, you can harvest feathers from the object itself, right? The nest itself by hitting it with your axe, even though there's only one feather left in there. I don't know why you have to leave one feather in there. Maybe you don't. I haven't experimented with it. Okay, we have a rabbit here nearby. Now, rabbits are not too difficult to catch if I can still see them. Oh, no. I might have lost sight of this rabbit. Is that him over here? No, it's a stone. We just lost track of this rabbit. That is unfortunate. That would have been a good start to the game. Well, if we get honey, we can still salvage this. And for those of you who don't know, these stumps will often contain honey, and honey is good because if you get infected, it reverts that infection. 5%. So if you're under 5%, you're safe. Unfortunately, we didn't get any honey. We have time. It is getting on in the day, but let's go ahead and check these vehicles real quick. Since we didn't get that bunny. That is unfortunate. We do have a few eggs at least. Oh, we do not want to fight that bike. You could probably take him, but it's going to be a drawn-out engagement, and I'm not interested in that right now. We need to make progress. We killed that zombie, that first zombie, just to get things going. We might actually get this one. So the trick to getting a sneak shot is to land your shot, but first of all, you crouch. Ow. I have not fired the primitive bow in a while. Is it just really... There we go. The range on it just really sucks. Alright, and then when they're down, I think there is a bonus to damage, so that's why you want to hit them while they're down. On top of them being open. And there we go. Thanks to that sneak damage, we were able to take that one out much faster than the first one. Oh, we got a crawler here. Let's see if we can sneak damage this guy as well. Yeesh, this primitive bow. I had forgotten what this was like. Oh, no sneak shot on him. Looks like he already knew we were here. I mean, we are just literally crouching in the middle of a highway. We are not very well hidden. These guys are typically easier just because of how slow they move. Their main threat is that they can sneak up on you. They can crawl through low blocks or things like that. But by and large, and they seem to be a little hardy, but by and large, they're not too difficult to deal with, especially on their own. All right, now that we're here, first thing we're going to do, since it's part of what we need to do anyway, let's go ahead and build a crate here. That way we can place a few things in here that we definitely don't need. Ooh, repair kits. We'll need those later, and that should be fine. For now, we need to place a block. We need to get it up to cobblestone, which means we need a shovel. So we will probably go into Rex first, because he's going to give us a shovel right away. And Rex is this trader who lives here. He's kind of a jerk, and I just realized something. Gonna check something real quick. All right, I just needed to disable the voice lines that contain profanity, because Rex is rather vulgar. He's kind of a jerk. He refers to the player as a scumbag for no real reason. I think he's somewhat of an elitist.
Look here, boy. Let's get one thing straight. You're not working with me. You're working for me.
Just like that. I think he figures because he has property that therefore he must be better than those of us who don't. And we'll show him that that is not the case. Shoot. I have a party girl. So you'll hear me refer to some of these zombies in specific ways. That's typically because they have a name. All right. Let's see, what did we get? I don't know if it matters if we learn these right away. So there are loot tables that are affected by the books that you read. It's a little complicated. Let's go back a few steps. I will refer to the zombies by specific names. That is because they are named that. Sometimes I will give them names that I came up with. That's just because I think it's funny sometimes. But the different zombies have different characteristics. Like the party girl, typically they're pretty low health. They're not too difficult to defeat on their own. And then we need clay for cobblestone. So we just do a little digging to get the clay. And that's just because Rec will give you a reward for completing that second row that we're working on. So what we're doing right now is working on the second row of challenges. As you can see, we're already pretty far along, as well as having completed that. So these challenges just show you how to play the game pretty much. All right, that's more than enough clay. Oh, there's another party girl, and she already saw us. So at least get a shot in on her. Or not. Or not. Back up. Although they can move fast, sometimes they're not too much of a threat because they're pretty fragile. Oh, or they can't hit me. I am out of stamina. I'm going to jump up here. We are having a rough go of it. We are bleeding, so we gotta wait that out and hope we don't die. We're gonna eat some eggs, because we need to eat them anyway, and because they provide just a little bit of health. She's up there now. Okay. Now let us carefully deal with her. There we go. So that was rough. That was a rough one. But we are persistent. We do not give up, so we will continue. So let's go ahead and create 10 cobblestones. We'll also place our land claim out. Damn it, there's a biker over there. We are in no state. We're going to place our land claim block over here, since I always like to set up next to Trader Wrecked. Now I'm hoping town is just, yeah, it looks like town is in that direction. We've got, it just seems busy. Oh, I just realized I had one of these. I forgot that we start with one with a bandage. That would have stopped that bleeding. Unfortunate. Unforced error there. Go ahead and build blocks that we need. And so what we do is we put down this block and we upgrade it with our stone axe. That gets us that next one. Then we place our land claim block. Can we place it here? Probably not. We're probably still too close to Rex. Here we go. We can place it right here. And a land claim block has mainly effects in multiplayer, but also I think it keeps zombies from spawning within the bounds of your block. I think you can only have one active block at a time. I believe so. All right, let's do door, place a torch, and a spike trap, as well as a bedroll. And that takes care of that. Oh, and we gotta place our torch. Can we place it on, here? Yes, we can. It just hovers there, strangely enough. And with that completed, we're immediately gonna remove that. We're going to get our wood back on this. And also so that if we're wandering around here, we don't run into it, because I promise you I will. Early on, these spike traps are more deadly to me. Well, they're useful to place. We'll run into that later. If you're overwhelmed by a zombie, it is useful to just put one down and kite them through it. Although I think if the spike trap kills a zombie, you don't gain XP for it. Another thing that I forgot to do is we got to search all of these. So that forge ahead magazine, so it improves my skill in workbenches, and we want that desperately want that, because that is what's going to get us ahead. We're getting lucky. That's already 2, and for a hat trick we'll get a 3rd one here. Yes, we are in good shape. Oh man. RNG giveth, RNG taketh away. We had a rough go. Well, it wasn't RNG that got me messed up by that party girl. Literally right after I said that she was no big deal. Maybe she was just showing me that I should be afraid. Let's see if that biker's still out there. So we don't want to deal with him. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to consume these right away. So we get our dew collector. We're going to want to put one of those down as soon as possible. We're also going to put this stuff away. Steroids we might keep. That might be useful. We don't have anything to do with the rest of this stuff, at least not right away. We do want to keep stone and wood on us. But let's go ahead and take care of the mission he gave us, which is in this direction. I'm still worried that that biker is around here somewhere. He might have despawned. So bikers are a bit tougher. They've got armor. They've got a decent chunk of health, I believe, and they hit fairly hard. Don't want to deal with them if you don't have to. Especially early on, especially on a higher difficulty. So as nighttime approaches, we're going to need to figure out where we're going to station up, because the nighttime is going to be absolutely deadly for us if we're not hidden away somewhere. So I'll show you guys a good spot. There's some phosphate that'll be useful later. Because we don't want to have to fight zombies at night, because they are faster, and sometimes they know exactly where you are. You can't hide from them. It just depends. We are going to deal with him because he's in our way. Should be able to get a second shot in. A little higher, and even a third, maybe. Heck yeah! All right, let's get him. Nope, biffed it twice. Biffed it 3 times. And you can collect the arrows from their bodies sometimes. Sometimes they splinter and they're lost. There are some perks that we can get, and actually we can spend a few points, I'm pretty sure. Yep, we can. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into Pummel Pete. Our club is going to be our greatest ally here. See, we're going to spend points here until we can spend another one on Pummel Pete. And this is going to increase our effectiveness with a club. So at night, I'll spend a little more time going into that. I want to hurry up and finish this quest right now. And so this first quest that you always get is Rect gives you a shovel. A shovel? He definitely doesn't do that. He gives you a shovel. And he has you go out and dig up some supplies. However, let's see, how far away are we from this? We're getting close. I think we can avoid that zombie. They're a little closer than I'd like them to be. But let's focus. Let's see how quickly we can do this. As we dig further, we will reveal more or less the location of the stash. But essentially, the more blocks you clear, the closer you get to the game, revealing a little bit more of where it might be. Now, also, we're going to dig some of these side ones because any dirt block you dig counts towards progress. But also because we don't want to get stuck in there. Now, it looks like I didn't quite nail what I was aiming for there. You want to keep an eye out. Zombies will come after you. That's why you want to keep a way of getting out, because as you make progress, zombies will spawn. Not every single time. You see, we do have that wanderer over there. And if you're stuck in the hole, well, you're stuck in the hole. They will drop in and they will surround you and you will die. Oh, we got it in one go. Heck yeah. So this is going to spawn zombies. And I think, let's see, we got one. We got one. We are going to fight just this one here. It's not too bad. And then we are going to get that stump, since it's stumps that are in points of interest, which this is a point of interest because it contains a mission, are more likely to contain honey. And a point of interest is just anywhere that contains a mission. So that'll be any site with a buried location, or you'll see later when we go to houses that we have to clear. There we go, we got our honey. So good to have in our back pocket. And we are going to run all the way back to Rex. All right, we're back here at Rex, and good to note is we have this big chunk of stone here. Those are always nice to have around. We can harvest stone from there without having to go too far. And so a large part of this game, something I should explain, a large part of this game is just completing missions for the traders. The first thing he's going to give you is always this. So we're going to go with the pipe machine gun bundle because early on, this is a get out of jail free card. The baton is halfway decent, but the rest of these, the pistol's also fine. But the rest of these other two are just, they're very difficult to use early on. They're slow to reload, one shot, slow to reload. It just makes more sense to go with the machine gun because it is a get out of jail free card. Now here we have some interesting options. This would be good much later on. I am almost tempted to take it, but it just doesn't make sense. We are not going to do knives because that requires us to get too close. We will take this because eventually we're going to want a better assault rifle. Even though we are not speccing into assault rifles. Assault rifles are pretty effective even without putting points into it. And so I did not recall this.
Broke with more customers like you.
He actually doesn't give you... he doesn't seem to give you any money on the first go.
You got money
So as you'll see here...
Or are you just here to piss me off?
These dukes are our money, our currency in the game. And he doesn't give us any on the first go. This is, I think, we picked up in loot. So that's okay. He wasn't going to give us a lot anyway.
I know some fellers that break legs for coin.
He's got a lot to say. We do have, it looks like we have a few missions here. These are pretty close by. So we're actually going to take this fetch mission.
To do if you don't mind getting your hands dirty. I'd say it's been an
Bobcat's Bar.
with you, but
See,
it
it is
would be a lie.
4 p.m. It's just a fetch mission. It is possible that we can complete this in time. So here is our machine gun with 15 rounds. Let's go ahead and put some of this stuff away for now. Let's go ahead and try to get it done. And so once we come back, we're going to set up shop here. We have a very limited amount of time because nighttime is 2,200 hours and we're at 1,600, 1,700 essentially. So that is 5 hours to do this, which is really not a whole lot of time. I think it's 2.5 minutes per hour at regular game speed. All right, so we've already got a few zombies. We've got I think those are called skaters, the ones with the hoods. They're a little more threatening than average. They move a little faster. So we're going to avoid him by doing a little sneaking here so that we can get to our mission location. Now I'm a little worried we may struggle with this mission. So people who are more familiar with the game will know the locations of people who have played this game for hundreds, if not thousands of hours will know the locations of the satchels. That's what a fetch quest is you're working to get a satchel that you will return. So if you can see up there, that's a vulture. We're going to see if we can get him right away. I think he's at our mission location. I think he'll reset though, so actually we're not going to get him. Boy, it is a little crowded here. We've got another zombie on our left there. Yeah, there he comes. So first of all, this is a white. They are a little stronger. And I've also got the vulture behind me. I'm hoping that vulture stays away. Back up a little bit from him. And not land that shot. Alright, we got him. So that vulture might have taken flight, might have not. We don't know. However, we did pick up big hitters, which we're going to read right away. Since that means we can build better clubs. And let's see if we can do that right away, we're going to. We have a slightly better club, definitely worth doing right away because it's not expensive, not time consuming. So let's go ahead and start this quest. So it's not a big area. We are going to try approaching it from the roof. However, let's see if that vulture's there. So we see the location, the satchel. Is that it right there? No, it's a boombox, isn't it? I haven't done this POI before. In fact, I don't even want to go. This is locked, but oh, we already have a zombie there. There is a party girl laying there. Just going to not say anything else about that. All right. So that first knockdown likely means that she's at least, at most, 50 HP. And now, not going to say anything else. We're going to just enter the location here. It looks like this is our satchel. We have gotten quite lucky on that. And we're not going to bother with the rest of this. We are going to leave the way we came. So another thing to note is when you hit up a POI, right, you can loot the entire location. And then as soon as you start the POI again, it resets everything. So you can essentially double dip, get double the loot. It's not all going to be the same loot. It randomly generates. All right, we're a little thirsty. So this is another one of the game's mechanics. So earlier I ate eggs. That was mainly for health, as little as it was. But you'll see down here you have your water bar and then your food bar. The green one is the food bar. The blue one is the water bar. You got to keep those above 50%. Otherwise, you suffer ill effects. And we're just going to go ahead and eat our chili. And so this will be kind of our main struggle at the beginning of the game. It is usually on single player. It's easy to overcome. Multiplayer gets a little tougher. The more mouths to feed, the harder it is to keep those mouths fed. I do wonder about why it's so much more difficult to multiplayer. I don't know if the game just doesn't give you as many calories and hydration units to maintain more players, or if it just has to do with the fact that it's multiple brains all working not necessarily in tandem, not being the most efficient with their resources. Whereas if you're playing just by yourself, you can be a little more strategic with that. So I am not sure which one of those it is. And actually, since we have a little bit of time, I'm gonna harvest some more stone. We need it for our stone arrows. And so you'll find these nodes of stone around on fields, and the great thing about them is that once you complete the entire node, you get a little bonus at the end. A little bit of extra stone. We're also going to smash a few more stones, and then we are going to... So tires give you polymers. Polymers are necessary for the dew collectors. Dew collectors get us water, and we need water to live. I'll explain more on that later. Since we have still a little more time, we're going to hit this other node. Okay, so we are going to set up here, and actually I have found that it is better to set up this way around. We're gonna need some building blocks, so we're gonna get some of those going. And you'll notice you don't have to stay in the screen to continue building the blocks. You can hop out, your character just automatically keeps putting them together. So if you have a block out, you can hit R, and then go up to shape. You can select different shapes. So we're gonna pick the scaffolding ladder, left click to rotate it, right click to place it down. I think this is more or less where we want it. Let's adjust a little bit. We're going to give a little bit of distance between us and the rest of it. And you can climb and place the ladder as such, more or less. And then here we're going to go back to shape and go back to the cube and place some cubes there. Now, before we continue, I think so we place those cubes not just to make a path, but also to connect the ladder to this, to the structure, to the billboard here. Because then what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove. Okay, so there we go. Good demonstration that we were not attached. Because we were not attached, it just basically came loose. So let's go ahead and do that again. And we're gonna hustle because we are starting to run low on time. So let's go ahead and try this again. Okay, and before we detach it, we're going to just add a few more blocks here. We're going to overbuild this just so that we can be sure. Make sure you don't fall because you will sprain or break a leg. All right, that appears to be attached to the structure. And we're going to find out right now if that is the case. There we go. So it is attached, so we can remove those. And the reason we remove those is that way we can hop up here. Not just that, it's also because the zombies can't do that, or rather they won't. As long as this is tall enough for them, I think if we go one more, it's going to be too high for us until we get parkour, which we will because I love parkour. So just remove the bottom two blocks. The zombies won't. They won't. This is above their eye line, so for whatever reason, they just don't see it. All right, we are hungry. We have some eggs that we'll eat. If we had gotten that bunny, we would have gotten some meat, although I don't think we can do anything but charred meat just now. Let's go ahead and ditch these stuff. Oh, we've got 3 repair kits early on. Not too shabby. Oh, we did not turn this into Trader Wrecked. Let's go ahead and do that. We might get lucky and he'll give us some food. He'll definitely pay us. All right, on this first go, the baked potato seems like a good choice. However, that's going to dry us out because it reduces our water by 5. So we're actually going to go with the crafting skills bundle.
What's the matter?
And we're going to check his inventory. See, water's going to be just a little too expensive for us. And we can't cook anything. So first,
Next time, I'll shoot you.
all right, we got big hitters, which we're going to take right away. These aren't bad, but they're not what we need right now. We're hoping for home, what's it called, home cooking? It's a magazine that improves our cooking skill, which we need desperately because right now we can only cook charred meat, and that sucks. Charred meat also dries us out. It's just not an effective way to feed yourself. So we need to get up into our hidey hole because it's 2100. 2120, just about. And we're going to need to be up here. And the unfortunate thing is that we have nothing to do tonight. If we had gotten some meat on us, we could cook the charred meat. Oh, rabbit? No, those are the shadows moving as the sun sets. Okay. Actually, before it's nighttime. So another good source of magazines. Magazines are life. Magazines are what you live for in this game. And you'll see that there's a mailbox here, and mailboxes contain magazines often, unless they contain, whoa. What do you mean out of range? That's interesting. I think we just got an error. We're going to ignore that. Keep going. So if they don't contain magazines, they'll usually contain paper, which I think is used for shotgun shells. I actually haven't gotten into making munitions in any of my games. So we'll find that out together. But early on, it just takes up space in your inventory. So since we don't have any other option, we're going to go ahead and eat our eggs raw, which is certainly a choice. But when you're hungry, you're hungry. We are also going to build a...
Trader Rick is now
It's Trader Rick announcing his daily announcement to that he's closed. So we're going to scrap the old one. Actually, let's cancel that so we can take a quick look. So melee damage from this one, this is a regular hit 14.4, power attack, that's with a right click 26.4. So we gain about 1 on those, and our durability goes up by 20. So early on, it just costs a little to do it that you might as well just build the better weapon. Later on, you do have to be strategic about that. And we got these. I had mentioned, since we don't really have anything to do tonight, we'll keep an eye on that zombie while we wait. Oh boy. Oh, it's a deer. Oh, that's meat. I really wish that zombie wasn't there. If I kill the zombie, rather, if I kill the deer, the corpse will not stick around for us. And on top of that, I should say that's a very big if, rather, I should say, of killing the deer. Okay, let's keep an eye on the situation. We'll make a decision a little bit later. So we might make a decision now. See if we can get him. Okay. Didn't work out. We'll keep an eye on the situation. So, magazines are life. These books are a little different. Like this one provides just a single anew ability. It doesn't rank up a skill, rather it just gives you an ability. Learn how to craft steel arrows and bolts. That's good to know. I don't know if these pollute the loot table. And what I mean by that is the game uses a loot table to determine what you get. Reading, say, the books that I've been reading, Big Hitters, which allows me to craft higher level clubs, means that I will get more big hitters in my inventory, or rather in my loot. So I don't know if reading these will mean we get more, but honestly that's fine because Ranger is something we will make use of. There's some good ones in Ranger. I think Urban Assault is probably the best one, but we will take that. Go ahead and learn that. We can't craft steel arrows for lack of resources right now, but it's good to know. Okay, so let's take a look at this guy again. But polluting the loot table, that's why we don't take those. It makes us less likely to get what we need. Hell yeah. Now the problem that we have is that we have a time limit. We also have the zombie who is wandering closer rather than further away. They're wandering away now. Let's go ahead and get them. Now the downside is that I don't have a knife on me. You can get a knife by grabbing bones from the crate. Now, do we do that or do we just use the axe? I don't know. You know what? Let's just use the axe. Does this count for us? That is enough bones for a bone knife. I don't know if there's a difference between using a knife and anything else, but here we go. Okay, we got some leather. Don't really need it yet, but it's good to have for later. Okay, harvested an animal. Let us scoot back to our hidey hole. There's that zombie, nothing behind us. Hey, not bad. We thought we were gonna have nothing to do tonight. And we might actually upgrade this to regular wood. The danger with having it this way is if you accidentally press E, you could disassemble the whole building, and that would be rough. However, what I just realized is that we used all of our stone. So can we do anything about our stone situation? What happens if we scrap these guys? Let's scrap one. Oh, no, it only gives us wood, so we don't want to scrap them. This sucks. We're in a bad spot here. Because if we get all 3 of them attacking, they're not going to come up this ladder, but they are going to do is attack these steel beams. And although they are steel, they're not especially sturdy. 3 of them can chew through that before we hit morning. And the reason we want it to be morning is because at nighttime we cannot outrun them. Oh, there's another guy over there. We are pretty well surrounded here. Okay, we're going to wait for a bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's looking a little clear right now. We're gonna make a go for it. It's 2, we just need 3 more. I saw a few over here as well. Hopefully there's nobody around that corner right now. We are loud and quite visible. So you'll notice on the bottom left that green bar is denoting our, I guess, our stealth level, how sneaky we are. Rather, I guess how loud we are. The higher that number, the more visible we are. This is unfortunate. I think we could probably get up there with maybe taking one hit, but I would rather take none. You might have an opportunity shortly. You know, something that I haven't tested is whether they don't see you if they have their back turned to you. Don't know. That seemed to have worked out for us. So let's go ahead and get our campfire at least placed. If we light it, that's going to probably, oh, don't get your torch out. Let's get that off of our bar. Let's check if we have leveled up. Haven't been keeping track of that. We got 1 point to spend. Ideally, you want to continue focusing on strength. However, I do want to get parkour going. See, 1 level of parkour doesn't help us very much. We want 2 levels. So we'll need 3 in agility, so let's get that going. Agility, 1 point agility does help us out with our bow. It means we have a 10% chance to dismember, 210% headshot damage. Not bad. I think what we'll do is we'll wait for daytime. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll wait for daytime and get the meat cooking while we make a quick trip to Rect for our next mission. But for now, we are going to make a cut in the episode. If you had a fun time watching me get pummeled by zombies, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.